Welcome to Houston Celebration. I'm Arthur Johnson, the leader of the Vision Inspired Performance Group. We have a great program lined up today. You may be at a point in your experience that you're between jobs. You may be looking for a job, or you may know someone who's looking for a job. Well, we have the ideal program established for you today. Dan Sanders of Between Jobs Ministries of Northwest Bible Church is here with us today to share some exciting things that they're doing to help individuals that are in transition, to give them hope, to give them encouragement while they move to their next job. Because we must understand that we're just going through, as the psalmist said, although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And we must know that it's just a shadow. We're just passing through, and that there is a new beginning for you. If you can just have hope, if you can just believe, if you can continue to persevere. And sometimes you just need someone to say, you can make it. Our prayer line is 281-212-1037. And if you're at the point that you are desiring prayer, you're needing strength, you're needing someone to unite with you, to build your faith, to encourage you, please call the prayer line. We have prayer counselors waiting to hear from you, to labor with you in prayer, to help increase your faith, to give you the strength to hold on until you make it to your next destination. You do have a new beginning, and the new beginning is now. All you must do is believe. We will now be blessed in song by Michael and Carrie Hodge. Please enjoy our program today. Michael and Carrie Hodge.
Secret place before your throne I wait, however long it takes, my passion will not fade, for you are more beautiful than anything I've seen. A love like this, so wonderful, deserves an offering. Deserves an offering. Draw me to that place, deeper than I've ever been, where I am lost in grace. Through the veil I enter in, goes on and on, yes, forever. Your love goes on and on and on and on, forever. Your love goes on and on, forever, Lord. Your love goes on and on and on and on, forever. Your love goes on and on. Draw me into that place, deeper than I've ever been, where I am lost in grace. Through the veil I enter in, yeah. This is where our love begins. Through the veil I enter in, yes. 'Cause this is where our love begins.
Wonderful. We want to thank Michael and Carrie Hodge for that wonderful song, Your Love Goes On. Once again, I'm Arthur Johnson, the leader of the Vision Inspired Performance Group. And once again, we have a great program established for you. If you know someone that's looking for a job, or perhaps you're in job transition, please stay tuned, because something is going to be said that's going to inspire you along the way. Please help me welcome Dan Sanders.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome, Dan,
Glad
to
to be
Houston
here.
Celebration. We're definitely excited about you being here and the work that you're doing with Between Jobs Ministries and Northwest Bible Church. So share with our audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, the last couple of years, I'm in the financial planning business, and
Okay.
the last couple of years I have volunteered my time with the Between Jobs Ministry Group, which is a wonderful church that offers counsel and help on
Okay.
how you can find your job. And the idea is that you can find a job probably quicker with their ministry versus me being at home alone.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for the last couple of years, and then obviously with the economy and with the hurricane hitting last year and a lot of changes here in Houston, I've
Right.
noticed a real call, and I feel led to help people, not only in the financial world, but most importantly in maybe helping them find a job that they probably lost for the first time in maybe 15, 20 years.
Right. Now, good, wonderful. As you work with people who are in between jobs and transitioning to the next job, as the economy unfolds, how is that playing into people's lives?
It's tough. I mean, people have been at a job since college,
Okay.
and they're in early to mid 50s, and their company terminates their employment.
Okay.
So for the first time, they're without a job.
Okay.
They are not familiar with developing a resume. They really have not developed a network. So it takes maybe a couple months for them just to get their footing, to realize what they need to do and how they're going to go about with their job. But it's very difficult, especially emotionally, because for the first time, this person feels like, well, I'm not able to create income to help my family, and that's
Right.
very tough.
Right, right, definitely. So now with Between Job Ministries, and you said a few key things there, individuals not having a network, individuals perhaps not having a resume. So how does Between Jobs Ministries help those individuals in those particular key areas, which we know are very paramount in launching a successful campaign for a new job?
I think a couple things is, number one is we preach the idea that you need to have a 30-second infomercial. So
Okay.
if I meet you in a grocery store or I'm in the lobby, I can we shake hands and I tell you briefly who I am and what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I will give you a good business card. It's got my name and contact information on it. But most importantly, when I tell you who I am in a 30-second infomercial, I'll say it in a way that you'll think, oh, hey, this Dan's a nice guy. Maybe I can find him a job in HR. I'll have to
Sure.
keep him in mind.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing that the ministry helps people with.
Okay, wonderful. And I noticed you said something very unique there, that they have a business card. So although the individual has left their present employer, now they're in transition. So Between Job Ministries affords them a business card.
Well, for the first time, if you're not working for a company, you need to develop your own business card, and you
Wow.
need to have your name, and it needs to say what you're looking for.
Okay.
Contact information, like probably your email would be good,
Right.
a LinkedIn address.
Okay.
I would suggest your cell phone number rather than your home, because when they call, you want to get that call very quickly.
Exactly.
And with this information on your card, then you can give to someone, and hopefully you'll be ready to go, that they might be able to help you find your next job.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think that is very exciting and innovative, because the average person that this is their first time without a job for 10 or 15 years, they may not think that creatively to say, well, I need to still have contact information available. I need to put that in the form of a business card, so if I do encounter somebody, I can give them a formal point of contact for me to facilitate that future communication. So I think that's ideal, and that's something that one would get by being a part of Between Job Ministries. Now, what does the economic outlook or the job outlook looks like for Houston and the United States?
Well, it's looking better.
Okay.
I think unemployment numbers are starting to come down. It looks like the economy is starting to come back slowly, and we've been through these before, 4, 5, 6, maybe recessions that we've been through since the last couple hundred years. But the point is that we're slowly coming out. Unfortunately, with Houston, we're a commodity-based city. Because of that, we have been lagging the mark. So for the first time, we're going to experience unemployment at very high numbers. Right now we're at 8%. It could be 8.5, maybe 9 before all this over with. So this will carry over into 2010, unfortunately, here in Houston.
Wow, okay. So what we're basically saying is that there may still be a period in the future that we're experiencing high numbers of unemployment.
Slow, yeah, high numbers, and it will be a slow process as people find their jobs. It's going to take them longer.
Okay, wow. And that's a true point. I think we were talking in the green room earlier that I've even experienced that in my own household, that my wife, who was a treasury professional, left her major employer back last year, and it took her 8 months to land again. And as we know in the financial planning business, normally it's 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And wow, it took her 8 months. So we know that even in that regard, financial planning and planning properly now is very paramount to your success if the inevitable were to happen, that you were to lose your job. What would a person do, or what would you share with a person who is currently working on a job right now, and you were giving them some wise counsel, some wise advice to remain employed during these times of layoffs?
That's an excellent question. They need to, number one is they need to stay plugged in at their company. And they need, if you will, cross-pollinate. They need to not only do their job well, but maybe help in other factors of the company. If it's a small or mid-sized company, they need to get to know their boss well and the owner, and try and figure out what their problems are and try and address those and help. They want to be the team player versus someone who's not independent and they're focused on themselves. And also I would encourage them to look into LinkedIn on the internet and plug themselves in, because this is, if you will, a 24/7 partner that you can use that will help you not only stay plugged in, but in case you do lose your job, that you can find your job quickly because you're already plugged in.
Right, wonderful. And you said something very key there when you mentioned about them being willing to cross-pollinate, being willing to do another job. And I'm often reminded of Jesus, and I call it the extra mile principle. And really the extra mile principle is an investment in your own future. Because he said this, he said, if someone asks you to go